Yeah, these are all the mental entities. Atma, Indriya, Manas. Indriyas, as we know, are what we eat, what we see, what we hear, and what we touch. These are all the five Indriyas, and Karma Indriyas we have walking and other things like hands. We say Pani, Pada, Payu, Upasta, different Karma Indriyas. So all these should perform properly, means healthy way. So we should go to a good place, we should do good functions. Same way we should look at good things and we should listen to good things. So these are all the indriyas which has to function in a better manner, then only we can say we are healthy. So these are all the entities we should be keep in mind, so then the person is healthy. So no one is healthy at present situation. So why we are not healthy? Because we are with we know we are making mistakes. We know things which we are not supposed to eat. Still we eat. We are not supposed to listen to the things, or we are not supposed to see things which we do. So which affects the mind. And by eating different things which are not good for us, without controlling ourselves, we land in trouble, or our health will deteriorate. So Ayurveda says prajna paradha, or making the mistakes with knowing, is the cause for the disease. So first aim of Ayurveda is swasthya. Swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, the maintaining the health. How do we maintain the health? So they have given certain dinacharya or a daily routine, and rutucharya. Rutu means seasons. As seasons change, even our body function, body changes, our hormonal level, even our mentally we change because of the rain, because of the sun. So when the season changes, we have to change our lifestyle. And even sadvrita means conduct, with good conduct. We have to follow certain respecting the elders and for other around us, the society. We have to take care of the society. We have to do charity works. All these are sadvritas or good conducts. So in dinacharya, at what time we have to get up? So early morning, waking up early in it's a Brahma Muhurta. Brahma Muhurta is the time where the sky is clear and more oxygen level in the sky, so that we do our adhyayana, study work during the Brahma Muhurta. It keeps us healthy and our mind will be calm, and we absorb more things, and we can be more creative if we get up early in the morning. And whole day we'll have, we have a longer day if we get up early. And even our lifestyle, a lot of changes we have to do. We should not stay longer time in the toilet. That is the problem nowadays we are facing. Because of the commode, we relax in the toilet, it causes a lot of trouble. So instead of that, if we get up early in the morning and have some hot water, or with some people they need some lemon with hot water, some depending on what they need, just to clear the bowel. Clearing the bowel early is very important. And about brushing the teeth, as they say, Acharya, our textbook says you should not brush with a sweet paste or whatever sweet. They used to use sticks of neem, sticks of mango, and this we have Pongamia pinnata or Honge mara we say in Kannada. So those sticks they used to use, which were not sweet. So which used, so their teeth were healthy and they didn't get much of the teeth disorders as well as gum disorders. Their taste buds were good. So, and also gargling is very important nowadays because of this corona. People say regular gargling of hot water is advised now. So gargling with the kashaya they used to do. Even gargling with the gingerly oil or sesame oil, which is very good to till tail we say, for gums. There won't be much bleeding gums because of that. And even eating the food habit, when I come to the food part, I'll explain these parts. And Rutucharya says, and even Abhyanga, taking bath. Actually, what people think that Ayurveda or Panchakarma means oil massage. It has nothing to do with the oil massage. Oil massage we have to do every day at home, especially at least once a week we have to do full body massage by ourselves. Whoever is capable of doing that, let at least Sunday or some day of the week, they should do massage. They should massage their body, and while massaging, they should concentrate on the part where they are massaging. For example, heart area, if they massage, they should think that my heart functions properly, I'm healthy. And when they when they massage their abdomen area, they should think my digestion will be good. Like that, every part of the body, they should concentrate and massage. Then the body will be healthy. And every day they should apply oil to the hair. Ayurveda says to the, and they should massage their head and especially and feet. Shirah Shravana Padeshu Tam Visheshena Shilaye, especially Pada. Actually, we are. Hello, can you hear me, right? Hello.
Yes, madam, we are able to hear you.
Okay, I got some stuff. Okay, so Pada Abhyanga or a feet massage is very important as we walk around and we put the pressure or a weight to our feet. So we don't bother much about our feet, but at least at night before going to bed, if we massage our feet with some gingerly oil or castor oil, til tail we call it, or mustard oil or sarson ka tail, just warm it and massage both the feet and leave it for some time. Then you can wash or just rub it off with some cloth or paper. And if you go to sleep, get very good sleep. And also your hair fall will come to control and it's good for eyesight. The pada is connected to the head and eyes. It is explained in our text, and I've seen results when I told this to my patients. Even many people who had problem in sleeping, they after massaging their feet, they got good sleep. So these are all the dinacharyas we can follow, and not taking hot bath to their head. Head bath should be with warm water or normal water. The places like Bangalore, it is difficult to take normal cold water. If possible, cold water is okay. Otherwise, warm water bath on the head. For body, if you use little hot, it's okay. And it would, I'm going to explain later. And also we have to follow the food timings like morning and evening, 2 to 3 times the food intake is mentioned. And the installation of or putting the oil to the nose is also very important, and to the ears, which were mentioned in our dinacharya. Daily we should at least once a week we should try to 2 to 3 drops of coconut oil to the ear and nose. Many people complain of nose block because of the dry weather and pollution. Just put little bit of coconut oil to the nose, and it will go inside and it will stimulate the olfactory nerves, the nerves which produce the smell, and it's good for health. And they will not get this nasal bleeding and other problems. So and also in Ritucharya they mention each Ritu, like Varsha Ritu. Varsha Ritu means now it's going to start rainy season. We have to have food with because that time Vata increases in the body aches and other Vataja fever and cold. These things are common, so we have to use more pepper, cumin, and turmeric. All these things in these seasons, and we should take care of our health because of the rainy season. Chances of getting ill is more, so health is taking care of health is important. And next comes Hemanta, and those rutus where pitta is more, like during Deepavali, that's what they advise, taking oil bath and taking more oily food, because that time more heat in the body, so we need oil to our body. So fried items they mention, more use of ghee during Deepavali season is better. And during January again, because of the dryness, they advise us to take more of the gingerly, like this sesame or til and good and coconut because of the weather. And again Vasanta Ritu, now we passed Vasanta Ritu, where more kapha or chances of getting fever. Kapha is more in the Vasanta Ritu because the sun will be high, and whatever the collected kapha in the body, just like Himalaya, when the sun comes, the rivers fill. Same way, this kapha increases in the body, and we have to have more of the body heat increasing food like cumin, garlic, and heat or asafoetida. Those things we have to use more during Vasanta Ritu or March, April, May time. And that's what we use. Even neem is good that time for New Year. Our New Year during this we use this neem and this good or jaggery because it is good for health during the Vasanta Ritu season. Even Ramnavami, during March and April we use this panaka made of nimbu and other bale hannu, we call it a bale fruit, because this is the time where getting upset, stomach upset is common, and cold related problems. So these are all the fruits which are good during this time. So ancient rishis or our ancestors, they had very good knowledge of what we have, when we have to eat and what we have to eat. So they created the festivals season like that, so that we can take by fearing God, we'll follow all the procedures. So they mentioned it like that. So now we'll come to the part where so food intake. So this is the main thing. People always get confused what to eat, when to eat. So lot of confusions are going on. So for that, Ayurveda, I don't follow whatever now present day diet, and I'm not saying it is wrong, but Ayurveda has different food and its procedure of what, how to take, how to eat, what to eat, all these things. We don't mention about this nutrition factors like carbohydrate, diet, this protein and vitamins. So Ayurveda mainly talks about Agni. Agni means digestive fire. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Pranimam Dehamashit. So Agni is very important. So what you eat is uh, how you eat, and how absorption takes place is more important than what you eat. Because whatever we eat, good healthy food, if it is not getting digested properly, then it is of no use. So we concentrate more on Agni. Sarvalogo Mandhagno, it says. That means if Agni is not good, if digestion is not good, diseases follows. So very important thing is we have to concentrate on the Agni. So how do we concentrate on Agni? So quantity of food, so that's what they divided. So when we feel hungry, we should have half of our stomach, we should imagine like 4 quadrants stomach. Half of the food will be solid food, whatever chapati, roti, rice, all these comes under solid food. Then 1/4 is soups we can have, and little bit of water. And water is also a lot of confusion is going on. Each individual has their own measurement of water. Some people want to have more water, so it is their nature. Some people, they don't like drinking more water. So Ayurveda doesn't say any standard quantity of water like 2 liters, 3 liters. Individuals, if they have some health problems, they should have more water, then they can have. Otherwise, they, whenever they feel thirsty, they should drink water. Just drinking like liters together water, Ayurveda say it is not good for health. They say because drinking too much of water will spoil your Agni. Digestion will not be good, and whatever you eat, it will not get digested properly. So take care of the water. And when you want to have water, have your a glass of water or something like 100 to 150 ml of water per morning, in between, like during food, like that we can have. And when people want, some people they need more water, it's okay, they can have the water. It is not that whole family, if one person feels like having more water, the whole family should not be advised to have more water. So in these 4 quadrants, half is solid, 1/4 is liquid, and we should leave 1/4 for gas. That means when we eat our food, we should, when we feel like it is okay, our stomach is filling, then we should stop. It is not that we should have full stomach, then it is very difficult for digestion. So we should leave the 1/4 of our stomach for gas. So gas will help in movement of the food, and it leads to proper digestion. So eating the full stomach is also it leads to a lot of health problems. And time of the food is also very important. Ayurveda talks about it's a Agni Hotra, means when the digestion is, we consider it as fire. So giving food means Agni Hotra. We are feeding the fire. So normally they, in ancient times, they used to have 2 food. Ayurveda doesn't talk about taking too many meals, like little bit of food. Many times we won't agree with it. We say minimum time you can have more food. So for that, Agni should be, your digestion fire should be ready to digest. So they say, but now it is not practical. We usually, if a person is at home, I advise them to have Morning around 10 to 11, in between have one food, and 6 to 7, these are all the two Sandhya kalas, or gap between morning to afternoon. That's the one time. That time the Agni is very high, so he'll have a proper food, and evening 6 to 7. Otherwise, people who are working and for the school going children, I tell have proper breakfast and carry the lunch, have early dinner. Having early dinner is very important, because as we say, Ayurveda says, Yatpindi tad Brahmandi. Brahmanda means our universe and human body, they are connected. So when the changes happen in the Brahmanda or on earth, when sun starts setting, slowly our Agni or our digestion comes down. So that time we cannot have more food. If you have a late dinner and have proper dinner, in morning we will have constipation or gas formation. When we get up, we will not be fresh. So if we have early dinner like between 7 to 8 or as early as possible, then the next morning we feel very fresh. So I will never talk about the present. We talk whatever we do. So keeping the future in mind, you have to follow the whatever the karma we say accordingly. So the early dinner is important, and eating fruits before sunset is very important. Usually fruits we say it's cold. So when the sunsets, the body becomes little cold. So then if you eat fruits, then many people with having cold and cough problem, phlegm problem, they will have problems. So early evening you can have fruits, afternoon lunch, evening fruits, night early dinner is very important, and we prayer. So they stress on it, because they say Ayurveda says Anna Brahma. So Rasam Vishnu Mukta Deva Maheshwara. The person who eats is Maheshwara. The taste of the food or quality of the food is Vishnu, and Anna is Brahma. So all the three, like formation, maintenance, and destruction. So everywhere they've mentioned it. So when we pray and when we concentrate on the food, when we eat, that gives positive vibe. So definitely our health will improve. Nowadays we don't even bother to look at what we are eating. We are concentrating on TV or news or mobile while eating, which is very bad. So whatever our mind concentrates during our food, that will affect us. So we will not have proper digestion. We will not enjoy our food. Enjoying the food is also very important. Chew it properly, and when you eat, and each morsel should be chewed properly. Enjoy the food and eat at least once a day. I know morning and afternoon it's very difficult for everyone is running around. Evening food, at least if you enjoy and eat, it will absorb properly and lead to positive energy. And our anatomy is different, as I told previously, physiology, anatomy. So it says when the food is digested, it goes to two parts. One is solid, and one sukshma and sthula, we can say. Sukshma in sthula part, one part which is nutrition absorbs to the body, and whatever is excreta, it will come out from the body. But in sukshma part, wherever after absorbing the sukshma part, will enter into the mind. So the world first time, Ayurveda is the one which mentions that you are what you eat. So when we eat, we have to be very careful. That definitely affect our mind as well as our body. So when we have a healthy and mild food, our body and mind will be mild. People who work hard in the like fields and in the army and different places where they need more physical energy, they can have strong heavy food, and they can have all spicy whatever food, because their body works so much, so they need that kind of food. Normally people who are not working hard and who are doing the clerical office job and home, so they do not doing exercise, they don't need too much of nutrition supplements, because digestion is very important. What we eat is not important, how the digestion takes place is important. If we have too much of nutrition supplements, and if it is not getting digested properly, then it will lead to some other diseases. It's proved that taking too much of supplements also cause a lot of problems. Instead of that, we should concentrate more on our digestion, and our traditional food is very important, where we are coming from. Our native food is that our body is made for that, and 50% of the native food, 50% of the food where we live. That is also important. In Bangalore, rice and ragi. In north, different, some places it is wheat, some places it's bajra. So depending on that, so they should have that food. And even oil, taking the oil is also northern part, mustard oil, or say, this sarson ka tel, and in Tamil Nadu area, gingerly oil or til tel, or we can say ellenne in Kannada, and in Karnataka, groundnut oil, and coastal Kerala and coastal Karnataka, we have this coconut oil as our food. So that is our food, and we should use more coconut and ghee. These are all the nutrition. These are all the oily substance which are needed to our bodies to function our joints and brain food. We even only ghee, and ghee is the blood brain barrier. Many people know it. It passes through blood and enters the brain. Ghee is nourishment. Ayurveda says first actually in ancient time they used to conduct live brain surgeries. Acharya Sushruta, everyone will be knowing, he's the first surgeon in the world. He used to conduct brain surgeries, and he says brain looks like live brain looks like a ghee during the winter. So that is like solid ghee during the winter. That means ghee is the food. So whatever is around the nature, that is the food for that part of the body. That is also mentioned in our textbooks. So digestive health. So I'm concentrating on the different parts of our body. So anything, if I'm going fast or anything, please just tell me. I'll can talk slowly. So mouth ulcer is a common condition because of the spicy food or even proper indigestion of the food. Also, we get this problem. Somph, or in Sanskrit we call it shatapushpa. So this is chewing this somph is very important. It is good for digestion, and also it keeps the body cool. And the barley water, barley we get it in the shops. Boil the barley and drinking barley water, and eating this dry coconut, copra, they call it Hindi copra, and Kannada we call it one kobri. Chewing that is important, and khaskhas or gasgase, chewing all these together, khaskhas and dry coconut also is important. So that gives the mouth ulcer. But one should take care that why frequent mouth ulcer is coming. Usually mouth is the reflection of the stomach. Something is wrong in the stomach, then only persons get mouth ulcers. So that has to be taken care. This is just for emergency, or just something, if it is serious or too many ulcers are coming regularly, one should go to the doctor and find out what is happening. And throat burning is usually because of the acidity. For that also we usually suggest a dry ginger and mulethi or yashti madu, they call it in it's a sweet rice. Usually you get it in these shops. That is sweet for persons with the diabetes. It is not good. It's sweet roots. It's very good. It helps in even with milk where they can have, or in boiling water they can add this mulethi and drink. That helps in burning of the throat. The throat burning is because of the stomach. Everything, whatever these symptoms, they are all the reflection is happening. Whatever is happening in the stomach. And chewing tulsi leaves and pudina kashaya, also the kada prepared from boiling water. Put a little bit of like 3-4 leaves of pudina, for a glass of water. I'm telling, around 100 to 150 ml of water. Little bit of pudina, tulsi, if you put, that will start boiling. And when it starts, it's like and even mulethi you can add. Then if you drink it like tea, it helps in proper digestion. And different nowadays we can see this green tea, black tea, many tea has come. If it is helping, you can have it. And stomach bloating, it's a very common condition. Gas formation, eating gassy items. We say vayu vata is important. What is the one which gets vitiated because of eating too much of this potatoes or aloo. And different we say like beans is one of the cause, because if digestion is weak, suddenly whatever you eat, it forms into gas or forms into pitta. So that digestion is, if digestion is very good, then these problems will not arise. So for that, jeera, just chewing jeera or roast the jeera and keep it at home. I usually tell ajwain, jeera and soam are the main 3 things which keeps you healthy. So roast it and dry without adding oil. Just bun ke bina tel bun ke, then keep it in the palm. Whenever you feel burning sensation or jalan, have jeera or somph. When there is a bloating, feel like gassy and too much of belching, have ajwain or jeera. So these are all the main 3 things which is regularly used for the digestive problems. And dry ginger or shunthi, adrak for tea, and adrak kada can be prepared. Buttermilk is also, a lot of confusion is going on. Buttermilk is nothing, it has nothing to do with the curd. Usually people add water to the curds and drink, which is not good. They should remove the butter and drink that buttermilk, which is very good, and helps in losing to reduce the weight also, and it clears the toxins from the body. Regular intake of buttermilk is very important. Again, the garlic is also for digestion. Garlic is one of the best thing. You can fry it in the ghee, or you can prepare in the dishes. We can in food we can add more garlic, which helps in good cholesterol and removes the bad cholesterol, and improves the mainly improves the agni or the digestive fire is very important. Then haritaki, or in north they call it harda, and which is the best thing for the in Shloka it says Haritaki Manushana Mateva Hitakarini Kadachit Kupyati Mata Nodara Seva Haritaki. Haritaki is like mother to the body. So maybe mother may get angry, but Haritaki will not get angry. So it's called in the Latin name is Terminalia chabula, which is like half a spoon at night. If you take regularly, the bowel will be clean, digestion will be good. It acts as it's just like it also detox. It cleanses the system. And for heartburn, again, munakka or raisins, soak the raisins at night and like 5 to 6 in a bowl of water, squeeze it and eat it in the morning. It helps in the acidity, and ghee is very important. People are scared to take ghee. If ghee is good, not the ghee where in shop, I don't know how they prepare and what they mix, but ghee is very important. And when too much of burning is there, little bit of ghee with sugar is also, it soothes the system. Burning sensation is maybe because of the ulcer or acidity, that has to be treated. These are all the whatever I am saying is just home remedies. That problem should be treated. If it is the beginning with home remedies, the problems can be cured. Across the after a long time, these things will not work. Only symptomatic for the that moment it will help. And even amla or gooseberries, Indian this we call it as betadnilli in Kannada. They're very important. They are big ones, not the small ones. That's very healthy. It's a part. It's a vitamin E. We can say amla a day keeps the doctor away. So every day taking amla is a best immunity. So all the lehya, or what we call chamanprash and different lehyas, main ingredient is amla. It is very good for immunity. And cardamom, chewing the cardamom or elaichi, it also keeps away from nausea. If person suddenly gets nausea or feel like vomiting, chew the cardamom or long. These are all the strong spices. So that's the reason why the world tried to conquer India. They were trying to purchase these spices from us. Spices are the main what do we call like medicines during those times. So kitchen was the pharmacy from where they used to prepare the medicines. And loss of appetite is also like we eat something and come home, we have to have lunch because it's time. So when we feel very heavy or we are not feeling hungry, having a little bit of jeera or ajwain, even chewing a piece of ginger, suddenly it improves the appetite. We should not eat when we are not hungry. Then we have the trouble. This is the problem now. They say bhuktasyo paribhuktam adhyashanam. Adhyashana means eating frequently. That is the main cause for falling sick. First, we should concentrate on our stomach, whether we are hungry or not. So we should train our stomach. When we like, we should make proper timings and we should eat in time. Then we will not have any health problems, because whatever health problems start from the stomach. So buttermilk is also, as I said previously, it is good for to improve the appetite. It improves the appetite and we can eat properly. Next comes the last part of digestion. It is intestine. So intestinal health means intestine, usually bleeding intestine, sometimes bleeding happens, sometimes mainly constipation or diarrhea. So gourds like bitter gourd, there's a snake gourd, ash gourd, different gourds are there. So in Kannada we call it Poot Kumblkai, different these things are very important. Prepared soups and sambars with these and are very good. And green leaves, it's very good for as fiber. It helps in proper digestion. And jeera is everywhere because it improves the acne and ghee. And if persons with I mean with severe constipation, they can have a half a spoon of castor oil in hot water before going to bed. If they follow it once in a while, like once in 50 days, or every Saturday, if they do, Sunday, if they go 2-3 times, the loose motion, that itself is the best detox. It cleanses the system. Previously, our elders used to follow this once in a month. They used to give it to the children. Now, because of they're not following all these things, fatty liver is the common condition we are facing. Then comes the even applying the little bit of castor oil to the umbilicus will also keep the intestine healthy. Umbilicus plays a very important role in our human health. And that like it's severe stomach pain even for children. If they have severe stomach pain, little bit of castor oil or coconut oil on the stomach, even this ghee will control the pain. But we have to be careful. If something is wrong, like intestinal problem, we have to go to the doctor. This is not the full medicine. What I am saying is not a medicine. Again, haritaki for constipation, raisins every day, if, soaking the kishmish or raisins at night and eating in the morning. It improves the hemoglobin as well as it's good for digestion. Buttermilk and even dysentery and diarrhea are more common. Like we have this IBS nowadays because they eat outside. Sometimes even amoeba causes a lot of problems. For that, regular intake of pomegranate and garlic, buttermilk, these things help. Even this jambu, we call it nerale hannu in Kannada. That is also one of that you get it in the sharbat, jambu sharbat in the shops, Ayurvedic shops. Regular intake will keep the intestine healthy, and that whatever the dysentery diarrhea problem will come to control. And fierce and piles, sitting for longer time and too much of heat and traveling, driving will cause these problems. For that, radish, suran or yam, we call it in English, in Kannada, suvarnagade, that different dishes, radish we can have fresh radish only, like salad, eating that regularly, and application of ghee to the part and eating ghee, because sometimes intestine gets dried, and then also this is the cause for the constipation. So ghee in the food will keep the intestine lubricant, and proper bowel movement will be there. And gingerly seeds with butter, that's one of the home remedy usually in some community. Too much of bleeding in their if they have during motion, what they do, they just powder the gingerly seeds or ellin pudi in Kannada they call. They mix it with butter and give it to them. By eating with the empty stomach, like half a spoon, that controls the bleeding in the bowel or motion. Or even dhania juice, if you have too much of bleeding, any kind of bleeding, dhania juice will help. Dhania or coriander leaves juice is will help. And mimosa pudica is a plant. It's a weed. In Kannada they say muttidra muni. If you touch it, it will it's the best nutrition. So juice made by this will help in any kind of bleeding, and also it is good for as a nutrition supplement. Dhurva is people know grass, they use it during Ganesha. That is also one of the thing which helps in improving the hemoglobin, and it controls the bleeding. And main digestive immunity in Triphala we get. Triphala has one of the ingredient is this allekai or haritaki. So this is available in any shop. Anyone can buy it. Three phalas which are important, made of that, and with ghee it helps in the proper digestion. Anyone with the digestion problem can have Triphala regularly. Next comes respiratory system, so which is very common now because of the pollution, and we are not having too many trees in our society. So all the whatever the oxygen level has come down, and other gas, it's more like carbon dioxide, it's increased. So for that we have to have mainly pranayama and yoga, very important. That will keep the oxygen level high in the body. Many diseases are because of the low oxygen level in the environment. So mainly we'll start from the nose. Nose block is a common condition where steam inhalation by adding little bit of this Nilgiri oil or some strong smell should be there. Every night, if there little bit of steam inhalation and just applying little coconut oil to the nose will keep them, instead of using those drops, they can do this. It will keep their nose clear, and night they get good sleep. And application of, even in some areas they apply a little bit of ginger juice to the forehead or to the nose in the daytime. That will clear their sinus. During sinusitis, application of these things will help in clearing the sinus. Regular steam inhalation is good for even sinusitis, and inhalation, taking the dry ginger powder through mouth, and even little bit of dry ginger if they inhale, the sinus will be clear. This is also proved in certain area of Gujarat. They are inhaling the dry ginger powder, and they are keeping the corona away. And coconut oil also very good for inhalation. It keeps the your nose clear, and throat. Common conditions in the children are adenoids and tonsils. Don't remove the adenoids or tonsils. These are all the policemen of our body. When something goes wrong, some infection starts, tonsils and adenoids get swelling. So that means there is some infection. They are the one they show us. When they show that this is happening in the body, we have to take care of that infections. Instead of that, we are removing that part itself, which is not good. So for that, pepper, ginger, kada can be prepared, kada or kashaya, in for like half a liter of water, half a spoon of crushed pepper, little ginger, tulsi. They can add even turmeric. They boil it, they add a little honey. Honey should not be added to the hot kashaya. Later, when it comes to warm, then you can add honey and drink sip by sip. That helps in the improving the immunity of the throat and the respiratory system. Even dalchini is good. Ayush Department of Ayush has given some 4 to 5 herbs which can be used as a present day for COVID prevention. This kashaya regularly night before going to bed, you can take that kashaya. Keeping the throat should be because the problem starts from the throat, so that should be flushed. If the virus goes to stomach, it's okay. It should not enter the throat. Then from throat it will enter the respiratory system and cause the problem. So you should flush it out from the throat. So these are all the ingredients. By using these ingredients, you can prepare kashaya and regularly you can take. And when there is slight changes in the throat pain, gargling with warm water or hot water with little bit of salt will clear the throat. Then cough and breathlessness, difficulty in breathing, tulsi kada again, even onion with sugar. If a person is having severe cough, cut the onion, fresh onion, like 1/4 or half of onion, 1/4 of onion with little bit of sugar. If the person chews, that whatever that phlegm or a cough accumulated there will dilute. Sometimes he may vomit or throw up, but the throat will be and the lungs will be cleared. Even Trikatu powder. Trikatu has pepper, and we have a pipli. Even in Hindi they call it pipli. It's called piper longum, and dry ginger powder. Mixing this is also available in the shops. Honey, mixing with honey. Even for children, little bit of they'll be giving like licking little bit 4 to 5 times a day. Cough will be cleared and phlegm comes out. Even digestion, whatever happens to the other system, first thing affects is digestion will be hampered. When the digestion goes bad, then the child will be cranky and it won't eat properly. And don't stress and don't force the children to eat if they are not hungry. Give something else, some light soups or something which they like, and not the junk food. So that because the child don't want to eat because he is not feeling hungry. If you force, again the problem increases. So change the food pattern, reduce it, little bit of boiled vegetables or anything with little bit of pepper, and like that you can try and reduce the food. So, okay, nothing will happen if they don't eat 1 or 2 days. They'll get hunger, and by these kashaya, these home remedies, definitely their hunger, their appetite will increase and they'll start eating properly. And even if they have severe cough with the phlegm, we can feel that breathing difficulty and they have the sound. Then massage the chest and back with the oil with a little bit of salt. Massage properly and induce the vomiting. You can put your last finger and without nails, or you can use some we have that niti, that rubber pipe, which is used for the like catheter, we can call it. It should be stimulated throat. It should be put into the throat and removed. Not like it should not enter into the system. Then they'll throw up. They'll vomit that phlegm. That is the natural way of instead of taking them for this nebulization. Naturally, all the phlegm comes out. I tell my patients so they don't. By following this, next time they will not have severe phlegm in their lungs, because the lungs realize that this is the route to come out. So naturally, all the phlegm comes out. Then the person feels fresh. Then you can start the other proper medication. And allergic sneezing is also very common in the cities. So pepper and turmeric, dhoop means in the hot tawa, just put crushed pepper and half a spoon of turmeric. And when the fume comes, just inhale the fume. Maybe you may feel sneezing or coughing at that time, but that clears the path, that clears the nose. The allergy comes down, and same thing, kashaya can be, kada can be prepared. In a half a glass of water, turmeric and pepper should be boiled, and if you want, you can add milk, or like that you can have with the this jaggery. That will keep the immunity, and allergy comes down. And even for oil drops inhalation is good. And for asthma, kada adusa, many people know in North India, in South it is called adusoge in Kannada, adatoda vasika. It is available, it's like a weed, it's available everywhere, even in village area you can find it. That kada is very good. And pudina, adrak, mulethi, even trikatu, all should be boiled and kada can be prepared. That helps, not like it cures the asthma, but keeps the person healthy, and that breathing difficulty will come to control. And the main immunity for respiratory system is amla and turmeric. Regular use of these two will keep the respiratory system healthy. Next comes musculoskeletal system, which is with our body frame. So to keep it healthy, so ashwagandha, nowadays it's a common herb. Anyone, when people know it very well, that's the best thing for this system. And for people who eat non-veg, bone marrow soup is good. So it keeps the first of all, the digestion should be good. If digestion is not good, all these things won't work. And food made of urad dal or black gram is good. That keeps the muscle strong. So and ghee, in proper intake of ghee, and horse gram, in Kannada they call it hurli. So that is also very important. Kulti, in Hindi they call it kulti, which is soup of this, and also this rasam prepared in this, or any kind of dish we can prepare in that and eat. It is very good for the musculoskeletal strength, even for bone strength it improves. And drumstick is also good. It looks like bone, so it is good for the bone. A ragi, omega-3 sources like some dry fruits, sunflower seeds, and salmon, different things, fish, so good omega-3 fatty acid is good. And turmeric is anti-inflammatory. So persons with the musculoskeletal problems like pain, turmeric, application of turmeric paste is also good. It pulls the pain away. So, and we have different medications, Ayurvedic medicines. These are all just preventive things. And for external application is also very important. Warm massage, oil massage is very important for the musculoskeletal problems. If it is a bone fracture or anything, don't do that. And even also with severe arthritis is there and swelling is more, you should not apply oil. It increases the problem. Mild arthritis and pain with the without any inflammation or without any swelling, you can apply the oil like til tail and mustard, til and sasoka tail in equal quantity, and massaging regularly. It keeps the muscles and bone healthy and strong. And for living in the sun, under the sun, is vitamin D. Nowadays there's a lot of confusion going on for the vitamin D. Ayurveda this says about Bhaskara, Arogyam Bhaskara Dichet. So sun is the one which gives the health, gives us the health. So morning sun is very important. If you can tolerate half an hour to 40 minutes, you can stay in the early morning sun or after 4 o'clock. But afternoon sun is also not bad, but you should stay there for not longer duration. You can 10-15 minutes you can stay in the afternoon sun, because I tell my patients can't go for exercise. They work in the offices. I tell them lunch break, go out, go half an hour walking sun, and inhale that whatever dust, whatever is there, that improves your immunity. And it even your vitamin D factor improves, because in Bangalore the sun is not, we don't get too much of sun, so afternoon sun is okay. You can go out in the afternoon. Only thing is you shouldn't burn your body. That means that whatever the alpha, beta, gamma rays are affecting us. So UV rays, what we call it. So they are more in the afternoon. Morning and evening, not much. But any time you can go out. Only if you feel uncomfortable, don't stay too long in the sun. So that's all. Otherwise, it's not a big deal. And best oil for oil massage is Balashwagandha Taila. Balashwagandha means it has certain drugs which improves the muscles and bone strength. Even for children, newborn children, and for children who can't walk properly, we advise this oil for oil massage every day, half an hour. Don't hurt them, just massage, relaxing massage, then wash it with the warm or hot water. So sun, afternoon sun is also okay. Not you should not stay longer duration under the sun. So nervous system, so which is the important part of our system to improve and active brain function. So the which that we can see in the Prakriti we have this Brahmi. One Brahmi leaf looks like it looks like a brain. So that is regular intake of Brahmi is good. And ghee, as I said previously, ghee is the food for our brain. Regular intake of cow's ghee. That too, the desi cow's ghee is very important. But if you don't get it, normal Nandini or whatever ghee you can have, but be careful. It should not be mixed with any adulterated. So almond oil, almond intake of dry fruits. Again, they have this oil. So oil is important for the nervous system. So we have a myelin sheath on the nerve, our nerves, each nerve. That sheath is mainly oil is needed to clear the, I mean, it should to keep it healthy. So almond oil, brahmi, walnuts, we know walnut, akhroot, we call it in Hindi. Walnut, it looks like brain. So regular intake of walnut, provided digestion should be good. Digestion is always, every time I stress, the digestion is good, then the walnut, whatever we eat, it will get digested properly. Pumpkin seeds, amla, again, amla is good for the brain. And vach, or in Hindi they call vach, or vach, in Kannada, baje they call. It's a root, it's called sweet flag in English, that rubbing it with the milk for children we give, and many children who can't speak properly, even for adults who stammer, regular taking of this vacha churna we call it, with the Brahmi ghee. Even Brahmi ghee is available in the shops. This combination will help in proper they should speak properly. That it helps in the clear speech. Right, that whatever stammering will come down, and ashwagandha powder again boiling with milk will help in our system, as well as it acts as a it relaxes the mind. So when there is a lot of stress, regular intake of ashwagandha will give good sleep as well as mind relaxation. And oil massage for head, regular oil that will keep the mind calm and improves the circulation to the brain. And Brahmi oil, especially, even you get it everywhere in the Ayurvedic shops. Brahmi oil is available. It should be like body temperature, and the oil temperature should be same. One should not use cold oil or hot oil. It should be little warm, so that body will absorb properly. Again, Balashwagandha Taila, and if no oil is available, gingerly oil, mustard oil, castor oil, whatever is available at home. Now, coconut oil is dry. It can be used for the area where the coastal area, where the sweating is more, where the moisture is more. This coconut oil is very good. And Gomutra, whatever that we nowadays. Lot of patent, even Japan has made patent of Gomutra. Gomutra means desi cow's Gomutra, not the regular Gomutra what we get outside. So that can be applied. It improves the nervous system. For the people with the strokes, I suggest them to apply Gomutra on their body and leave it for a few minutes under sun. That stimulates the nervous system and improves the nerve functioning. So even any part of the body, they can apply that Gomutra. It helps in this. Mainly nerve tonics are Brahmi, and two types of Brahmi are there. One is Bacopa Monnieri, that this is also in the next one is Centella Asiatica. Any Brahmi can be used. So kidney or urinary system, even many of the kidney problem or urinary system problem is because we are not going to bathroom regularly. Ayurveda says Vega Varodha. Vega means urge to go, like motion or urine or vomiting. Any urge is there, you have to go immediately. If you suppress the urge, then that becomes toxin and you will have the disease. So same way, when we suppress the urine, when we go out, we don't feel like going to the different bathrooms because of the hygiene problem, and not drinking much water, because if we drink water, then we have to go to bathroom. So this is a problem. So this causes lot of troubles like urinary tract infection, kidney stones, different conditions, and even by not drinking too much, drinking water also we get problem, and taking too much of painkillers and NSAID, the different medicines, it will also cause, because of the toxins, kidney will not filter, so we'll have kidney problems. So those positive factors should be avoided. Nidana Parivarjana, Ayurveda says, so causes should be avoided first. Then the taking of water intake, proper water intake, not too much or too less. And in food, we have to take care of. We should have more cucumber in our salads, and barley water is very important. Barley flushes the kidney clearly. Whatever concentrated or whatever dirt is remaining in the kidney will be flushed from barley water. Bokshura or bokhur, we call bokhur in English. Sanskrit we call it bokshura. Regular intake of bokshura will also help in kidney functioning. Even kidney stones are there. It can be cleared by using bokshura or bokhur. And buttermilk again it acts as detox. It cleanses the system. And durva grass, as I said previously, in some kidney conditions which whom I can't contact, I tell them to have durva juice. Durva, or in Kannada they call it garke. That will help in the functioning of kidney and improves the hemoglobin. Once the kidney is affected, hemoglobin level comes down. By intake of this, it will improve the kidney function. Again, the dhania juice and beetroot juice. Beetroot also very good for kidney functioning. And for stone, as I said, horse gram. It's shapes of the horse gram or kulti or this hurli. It is like kidney. So the shape itself is, we can say by this shape, it helps in the kidney proper functioning of the kidney. So soup or rasam or anything made of this horse gram will help in kidney stones. And plantain or banana, that stem, different we call pachdi, or some raita made of this banana stem will also help in proper clearing of the kidney. And mainly renal immunity, we have regular intake of horse gram. And punarnava. Punarnava in Hindi also they call punarnava. It's a plant. We get punarnava kashaya, punarnava tablet, everything, which is very good for the kidney function as well as the total punarnava. As the name itself suggests, it improves. It helps in any organ like heart or brain, any organ. It improves the function of that organ. So the punarnava can be regularly used in our diet. Skin and hair. So external application, we have too many creams and different agents are there, which are not good. Most of them have bleaching and different chemicals, which causes a lot of problems. So regular night time, just wash the face with this gram flour, or we can say chana ka dal and green gram, and the powder made of this. Wash it properly and apply some oil like kumkumadi taila. If you don't get olive oil or any gingerly oil, any oil, coconut oil, just apply, massage the face, wash the face morning regularly. It keeps the face with glow. That is itself is enough. Don't need any other extra creams. That night time nourishment is when we sleep, the pores are open. That nourishment is enough for us. And regularly using this powder for the face wash is very important instead of any artificial soap. These are all the natural powders which they used to use in ancient times. And regular use of turmeric and kasturi haldi. We call it the kasturi arshna in Kannada and kasturi manjal in Tamil. So which is very important. It also acts as hair remover. Regular use of this for the face, make a mask or some paste that improves the skin. And even for any skin problems, applying turmeric with that paste of that, it will help in clearing that we call sometimes this ringworm and different skin problems, small boils. They're not very severe. With this we can cure. Even for pimples, turmeric with neem will help. And intake of neem also will help in it acts as blood purifier. Blood purifier means then the skin complexion will improve and the skin problem can be cleared. Not a severe condition. These are all for the simple conditions. Even soap nut is very good for hair and face wash. In ancient times, these are all the things they used to use for the hair wash and face wash. Even to improve the hair health, the dandruff should be avoided. For that, regular oil massage is important. So moisture will be there on the scalp, then will not have the dandruff. And curry leaves are the best one for the hair growth. And amla curry leaves oil can be prepared or paste made with adding some curds will help. Onion juice will help in getting the hair color changes. It is like it acts as hair color what we get in the market. This is a natural way. Regularly if apply the onion juice, the hair color changes. Aloe vera is also, we can grow it at home and use it for face and head face mask and wash it. So these are all the natural ingredients which keeps our ourselves healthy. Application and even intake of different things. Even egg yolk will act as it acts as conditioner. even the hibiscus leaves, we can grind it and filter it. That whatever that liquid portion is available, wash the hair with that. It acts as a conditioner instead of that whatever artificial conditioner. For internal, for hair and skin, this is the part where the nourishment, if the body is nourished properly, we don't need anything for the extra for the skin. We can see if a person is healthy, their skin will be glowing and they'll have good hair. If there is something wrong with the nourishment, then the person will have the problem. So fresh fruits, more vitamin C like amla intake, and citrus fruits or mosambi, orange regularly we should take. And mainly pranayama yoga will help in clearing the, improving the oxygen level, improving the health. Fresh salads. So stay close to the prakriti or the nature. If we stay close to the nature, we will not have many problems. We can see people in the villages, they have less problems than the people in the cities. So they are little closer to the nature. That's all, nothing more. We don't need much. And our ancestors, whatever the lifestyle or food they followed, that is the most scientific because they followed it from centuries. So now we have changed a lot. That we have to adopt. Not exactly we cannot adopt because of the present day situation. At least some parts we can adopt, and the food and whatever they used to, even preparing the rice, not with the cooker, just boiling the rice and taking out the ganji or the starch portion, that itself will improve our health, it improves our digestion. And these are all the small changes which they used to make, not our parents, our grandparents, or their parents. They used to follow all the proper healthy lifestyle. That little bit of that we should adopt. And many people have doubt like whether to eat this uh, we call navane and different we call it in Siridhanya in Kannada. So whether it is needed or not, that depends on their digestion. Digestion is good, they can have that. If digestion is not very good, regular food, whatever they eat, it is good. Even chapati, too much of chapati is also not good. It digestion will be hampered. Once chapati they can have, once they can have ragi, and one day bajra, one day this. So different. One day wheat, one day rice. Like different. They should have different food every day, which is close to their nature, not something soya. Soya is not our food, and even olive oil using for internal food, which is not our or in our nature. So whatever is there in Indian food, try to take as much as possible. Traditionally home-grown food and even fruits. What fruits? Many people have confusion. Seasonal fruits. Now we can have jackfruit. We can have mango. This is the season. But during the season, whatever is available, that is the fruit. Now we get unseasonal fruits, which is not good. Even apple, they store it for a very long time, then take it out. So be careful. I'm not telling not to eat, but while eating, you have to be careful. Whatever you eat, try to take care of the digestion. Have some cumin or some little piece of dry ginger powder, something you just take after the intake of the food. It will digest properly. If the digestion happens properly, then you will not have much problem. It will just go away from the body. If it is not digested, then it turns into toxins or poison, and all the problems will start. So just take care of the digestion. Take care of your health. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu. Any questions?
Thank you, ma'am. Few questions have been posted in the chat box.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the questions. Maybe you can help the participants.
Yeah.
There is one participant who asked, can you please repeat the natural remedy for phlegm removal? I think for them we can share the slides later.
Yes.
There is one question. What is your suggestion for treatment and management of epilepsy?
These are all the conditions where you need treatment, proper treatment. That's what I was telling from the beginning. Home remedies means when you have slight problems, like today you came home, you're not hungry, you feel like bloating, then eat something to correct it. These are conditions where you have to take proper guidance from a doctor. So at home, what we can do is just take care of the digestion. Other things you can be corrected for a patient with the epilepsy. Digestion is very important. If digestion is good, vata increases. Again, the epileptic attacks will increase. So, taking proper oil head massage, all these things can help in this thing, but it is not a cure. It is just help the person. That's all.
Doctor, can I request you to unshare your screen? so that.
Okay. Yeah.
Swapna, next question.
Next question, is there a cure for vertigo and tinnitus?
Yes, but it depends on how it happened, because vertigo mostly because of the ear, or sometimes even because of the spondylitis. You don't know the cause. Many times it can be cured. Cause is
Ma'am,
very.
there is a next question. What is your suggestion for type 2 diabetes?
Madam,
Type 2
can you
diabetes.
switch on your camera?
Off.
Can you switch on your camera?
I think it's on. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Type 2 diabetes, it's a common condition. It is a metabolic disorder. So as I said, digestion is very important. Keep the digestion fit, and with some medications, it can be controlled. Some people even got cured, but mostly it can be controlled with medications, proper lifestyle, and diet.
Ma'am, I see another important question. There is a patient who's asking, how do we control cough and chest for 4 to 5-year-olds, considering it is tough to feed them ginger, pepper, or any other spices or herbs?
For that, different syrups are there. Ayurvedic cough syrups are there. I told the ginger pepper along with that. If you add little bit of that muleti, I told that is yashti madhu in Sanskrit. You get it in shops. That is sweet. And if you add honey to the ginger pepper, everything that is sweet, and the child can have it. Honey is the best expectorant, acts as expectorant. Adding honey to the whatever syrup, even tulsi syrup or ginger, little bit of ginger juice with honey, it will definitely help them. And massaging, I told previously, massaging the chest and back with warm oil, they'll throw up the phlegm. If too much of phlegm is there, they'll just throw up the phlegm.
Then we see any suggestions for weight loss.
Right, lot of suggestions, but thing is they have to have control on their mind. Even depends on the condition. Some people will have other hormonal problems like thyroid or any other condition that has to be corrected. If everything is fine, then their food, as I told, two times a day food and proper intake, yoga, pranayama, and even food control. Not, you should not skip the food. It is also very bad. Skipping food, people do. They are putting on weight. They stop waiting one time like that. Then definitely the gas increases, and whatever they eat, they'll again put on more weight. So proper food, timely food, proper yoga, pranayama will definitely help in losing the weight, helping yes. And even barley water, regular intake of barley water, buttermilk, that detox happens, and even fat burn increases.
There is a question. Yeah, ma'am. I think we'll take this last question. There is a question by a participant. They say, share the remedy for removing pimple acne marks.
Marks, cinnamon powder, regular application of cinnamon powder with honey, and as I told, neem with the turmeric, and that's the kasturi arshana we call in Kannada, kasturi hardi in Hindi. That paste can application that regularly, and internally is very important. They should have good blood purifier, drinking of more fruits and more soups and fruits. That will internally that will help. And I told at night apply some oil to the face, massage it, morning wash it with basin powder or green grand powder. That clears the pimple marks.
Ma'am, there is a question. When there is a chest congestion for 4-year-old, she gets wheezing problem. What should we do?
Yeah, as I told, when they have the congestion, first thing is food is very important. Don't give anything from the fridge. At fresh food is important. Freshly cooked food, and no butter, no curds, and fruits after evening. These are all the positive factors. First, find out what is causing the problem. That is important. Then the kada I told previously, in the water add little bit of pepper, turmeric, and tulsi. Boil it properly and add some honey or good or jaggery and give it to give for drinking. That will help in chest congestion, and oil massage. These things will help in. Digestion is very important. If it is too much, we can't give with the home remedies. I told previously, you have to consult a doctor, any Ayurvedic doctor or any doctor you can consult.
I think Kavita has messaged that Rakta Chandanam also works very well for acne marks.
Yes, yes, I've been tried. I have too many things like other things are also there. Manjishta, Sariva, different things are there. I didn't mention. Even Gopi Chandana, application of Gopi Chandana regularly will also keep. Just applying for scars, this rice powder with buttermilk, sour buttermilk, make a paste, apply it. It's like a bleach. Wash it after some, when it dries, wash it off. The skin, the dead skin and whatever that tan will be removed in that. But just rice powder.
Ma'am, I think now we can close the session. Thank you for the extremely informative session. I think most of the patients, parents, and participants have found it very helpful. I request Mr. Prasanna Sharol, our director, to close the session. Prasanna, sir?
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Shomangla, for a wonderful session and very informative. In fact, it looks like very exhaustive for all the participants. May not be easy to digest in one session. So there are a lot of questions being asked. So I will post some of these questions to you separately by email. Then later on we can post these answers on our website along with your recorded live session of this. But all the slides and all the input were very, very valuable. I think if somebody can start practicing at home, it will definitely help all kind of people, especially for rare disease patients and their children. Home remedies are best suited just to avoid too much of toxins and poisons from the allopathy medicine. And I'm sure it will benefit for all those who have attended. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time. And probably we look forward to more session. Probably one session each for different thing. Like when you talk about skin, that itself probably may require
Very long.
skin related questions and issues with our community also. Since Care for Rare webinar is a series, not just an event, we'll work with you on our different sessions on particular area. Thanks so much once again for your time. I also thank all the participants who have spared their valuable time to this webinar. I'm sure it will help them also. And back end, I would like to thank Swami for superintending this webinar, and also Swapna and Pavitra from the back end. Thanks so much. I request all the people to log out now, and will be in touch with you with all the questions and answers you had asked for. Thank you so much.